We have seen him do it. Jarvan and Sejuani are the two premier ones. Since Sejuani was the last ban here from EchoFox, you would expect Jarvan pick up here for Mike. And it also does do very well into things like Zoe, right? Everyone's very down on Zoe's offensive abilities because they're so annoying when you do get hit with a sleepy bubble trouble or something, but she is vulnerable to ganks, and especially if you mention the Malzahar ultimate, Jarvan is great at closing that distance.
Yeah, I kind of like splitting the difference there between offense and tankiness there for the J4, but I think Zach's the obvious pick for Dardoch, and there's Alistar to round it out as well. So all of a sudden, 2 picks in and frontline there for EchoFox as well.
Instantly lock in some of the best frontline, and the reasons why these are two of the best right now, Alistar in the bottom lane, very prominent, can go for kills with Tristana. Like, this lane does have kill pressure, especially with a Zac long-range engaged near the bottom, threatening all the time, and a Gangplank ultimate. So there's possibilities for EchoFox even playing around a bottom lane here. So that's a very interesting little wrinkle, whereas TSM have drafted some more team fight prowess. Vladimir, we've talked about it, like this guy is a monster once you get to team fights, and especially now, this is still 8.1. You can start Spell Thieves on Vladimir, really ramp up your gold very early on, plus you don't have to deal with the minion aggro from your targeted spells, and he is an absolute monster. Gangplank versus Vladimir is something we see a lot of, actually, even in solo queue as far as a matchup, and very excited to see this one get onto the Rift.
And to me, I just love the Vlad pick because of the, I hope, a change in mindset here in this game. TSM is saying, okay, we can't just sit back and scale and try and play a super long game, because we heard it even on the desk in the pre-show. Vladimir is the pick that awards you for fighting often with his ultimate. So if TSM just sit there and farm with him, that's a losing strategy with Vladimir.
Well, EchoFox definitely have the engagement. The bottom lane you talked about, Zac with his passive to revive and Alistar with the ultimate, huge damage reductions. Because of those abilities, they'll be able to last on the front line no matter what. So it'll be about coordinating that engagement.
Certainly will, and a fun one here. EchoFox looking to run the tables after 2 weeks and stay undefeated. TSM, a tough opponent just to hit 500. This will put them at 2-2. Certainly not the start the defending champs are looking for, but a win here is a huge sigh of relief to end out their week, finally right the ship a little, and then move into the rest of the season with a bit more confidence. But you can hear the crowd just a tad there. The EchoFox fans are very excited for their team to finally be off to a good start.
Battling TSM chance as well.
Always a tough one.
Talking about confidence, yeah, it sounded like from Avli's interview with Song, they are incredibly confident as far as the improvements that are to come, for this team. As far as EchoFox, though, the wins that they've already gotten have done wonders, and we saw from the side as well. Huni, just as an individual player, is having such a remarkable effect on the mentality of the rest of the players on EchoFox, as far as kind of galvanizing them against any of the doubts that the community has had. And it really has shown up in the play. They've been extremely precise thus far.
Well, we'll have to see if they can keep it up as the 10 players span across the length of the river to start off the first minute of the game. Hauntzer, though, about to face check a Gangplank, bit of free money.
I mean, you've got a Spell Thieves on one side and a Gangplank on the other side with Klepto, so everybody's just trying to cash in. I think I give a little bit of an edge over to the Vladimir here. 23 gold earned for him.
13 gold ahead.
Let's see what Huni got as far as his items, though. Did he get any Klepto goodies? Doesn't look like it.
Oh, unfortunate there. Doesn't quite get it done. Looks like Zven and mithy just hanging out. Might be a late ward here. And MikeYeoung going to be possibly starting on that red buff as mithy and Zven move in. Get a bit of info. There's Dardoch and Adrian spotted out.
Braum incredibly threatening because of the stun passive right there that they could stock up on Adrian. It's going to mean a little bit more damage Dardoch will take here. But mithy being on the ward actually even makes him use one of these smites here. So Zac actually doesn't have a problem clearing his blue side jungle unless MikeYeoung decided to follow up that bottom lane invade with a Jarvan invade of his own. In order to do that, though, they might need some more pressure around mid lane, and Bjergsen right now on Malzahar doesn't have a bunch of options versus Zoe. This is kind of the classic, by the way, if you haven't seen a lot of the pro play. Blue side clear for Zac. You want to get the basically patience range for both of these, the blue buff and the Gromp. They kind of overlap right here in the middle. So you get this sweet spot, you use your elastic arms to pull them together, and you're able to get double damage basically since your W is AoE to quickly clear out both of those camps. He does so, and he actually did that before Wolves because he didn't want MikeYeoung coming in on that Jarvan and kind of messing up the only really scary part of a Zac clear.
Yep, MikeYeoung though is just farming through pretty much his entire jungle. Actually left the blue up for a little while longer, so already level 3, might be dipping down towards that bottom side. We've seen Dardoch though play top side so often as Zven, knocked up there by Adrian, but mithy returning some fire. Nice stun there lands from concussive blows.
Yep, able to push the lane in down bottom very quickly. Meanwhile, Huni on the top side with Gangplank, able to shove Hauntzer under his turret, and anytime your top laner gets that early shove, you want to try and get one of your wards on the camp spawns. If you're blue side here, as Huni has done, onto the Krugs, or if you were Hauntzer's side and he was getting the push, you usually put it up there by the blue buff / Braum. Because the ward on a camp is so valuable, you get to see, even if the jungler is not there, you can kind of rule out half of the map, and then you're able to sort of infer the possible locations. Bottom lane can play a little bit more safe, as we kind of talked earlier about the possibilities of Zac's long range being threatening for even an Ezreal Braum that are very mobile.
Here comes Dardoch, kind of moved his way back around. Mithy gonna get jumped on, combo starts, knock up there, a root, slapped around forever as Mithy trying to get back to Zven, dashes back, flashes out as Zven. Arcane shifts away.
Does get the flash here from Mithy, plus a large chunk of his health, and that's kind of exactly what we're talking about. Even though Adrian did spend his flash and ignite, so it ends up being a summoner positive trade for the TSM bottom lane as they're able to escape from that one. But that could get worse because the other thing we talked about in Champ Select is in addition to Zac's range getting longer with the Elastic Slingshot for those engagements on bottom lane, the Gangplank ultimate could also become a factor that could affect. So we'll have to see how that one does trail.
Base check there, but just to trade, Fenix can't quite find the skill shot angle. Mid lane though, looking relatively even on CS. See what Bjergsen wants to do. Just gonna hang out in lane for a little while longer. Dardoch here, gonna force a flash. Very nice, slaps together, stretching strike. Phoenix looking to line the bubble up, the drowsy is good. Phoenix lining up the rest of them, spawns the voidings for Bjergsen. Still gets touched, MikeYeoung though, knock up on the other side, but Phoenix snagged a flash.
Yeah, decent amount of damage done to Bjergsen there, but he has an extra potion just sitting in his inventory as well. Should be just fine.
Yep, also has the unsealed spellbook and his cleanse still up, so can swap for a TP if he needs to get back to the lane ASAP.
One of the reasons Fenix has been so pushed up in this matchup, by the way. Zoe getting to move up very quickly and picked up some early, it looked like she had a blue smite early on before that trade, to be able to get the nice harassment down. And then in that one, the GLP active as well, able to get an extra slow there and a nice little decent chunk. They just want to try and get off that Malzahar spell shield before they go for the engagements. And you're able to see Bjergsen immediate flash in response to the Zac shadow just showing up.
Yep. See Phoenix also unsealed spellbook, gonna TP back in. Bjergsen gonna trade his cleanse out and do the same. Phoenix also with that dematerializer, seen a lot of that on Zoe. Hoping to push those waves and pop those balloon minions. And actually a very fast QSS here for Phoenix. Kind of knows that one of the few ways he can really get touch in this lane is if he gets ganked by the jungler and ulted by the Malzahar. Phoenix looking to line it up again. Portal jump is good. Huge amount of damage onto Bjergsen.
Yeah, the other bonus, which is a really good point, you bring up the minion dematerializer for Zoe. She is a very effective roamer to those side lanes because of the range of Sleepy Bubble Trouble when you shoot it over walls. It's a huge extension, and it's just another angle that things like the bottom lane here, which are very highly prized, could have to worry about.
Barrel there from Huni, does a bit of damage on to Hauntzer, but MikeYeoung is sitting up, looking for a gank. Hauntzer with the ulti, gonna go for the tower dive. Knockback is not quite enough. Huni very low, a little bit more from Hauntzer required. Has the flash, looking for it, the ignite's enough though. First blood to Vladimir.
TSM first blood. People were criticizing MikeYeoung for not being as active early on and not being as offensive, but the Jarvan here going for a lane gank through the brush is able to get the jump onto Huni, and Huni never used his flash. Because MikeYeoung was able to use his flash to land that knock-up very quickly. We'll take another look at the slow-mo here and see just why Huni kind of didn't have... Well, he did have vision, actually. He just didn't expect MikeYeoung to go for the EQ flash. And the drawback of the EQ flash is only that, yes, you won't hit your EQ damage, but all they needed was that knock-up time. And Hauntzer was able to get in there with the ignite, with his ultimate already on, and Vladimir getting the damage there. So very nicely picked up for TSM's top side as they secure a first blood for themselves and push Vladimir way ahead in that gold race.
Yeah, actually looking good in CS, about 15 up, and now with the completed Frost Queens to be able to get the income going even further.
And the map pressure can snowball in instances like this for TSM. However, the bottom side was the warded up side. So MikeYeoung now has ventured into the side of the map where they didn't establish control. Bottom lane is where they really have complete control. You can see all the wards for TSM cover that side. They have their pink ward over there. Hauntzer just placed another pink ward in addition to the early kill that they have. The bottom side is really going to be the side of the map now that TSM have to play defensive on, whereas the top side feels quite strong for them.
Yeah, you can see MikeYeoung pretty much trying to do something mid lane and walk through about 4 or 5 different spots of vision. As we check back in with the bot lane, Zven up on CS nicely here, but looks like it's mostly a farm fest there in that lane as MikeYeoung takes the red buff for the second time and might try top or mid from this angle. Yeah,
I mean, Gangplank is definitely a diveable target, as we've already seen. They won't have the Ignite quite yet from Hauntzer, but since he's running Spellbook, it does come up almost 30% quicker for himself. I believe he has both of those summoner spell reductions. So very easily MikeYeoung could try and attack that area, and there's only the single ward that they do have to worry about. Meanwhile, Huni's ultimate on Gangplank is available for that bottom lane possibility that we talked about, you know, with the long-range elastic slingshot from Dardoch.
Yep, doesn't have the TP, but won't need it to try and add some help there to that fight as Fenix did a quick roam top to redemption Huni for a bit of bonus health in his 1v1 that Huni's struggling just a touch in, although catching up in CS nicely as Dardoch stalks the right-hand side. Looks like blue buff could be the target here. Bjergsen's just been held so far down with his pushing mid lane as Adrian and Altec will enter as well.
And this is what you kind of have to do. We talked about how TSM had to play defensively on the bottom side. Sometimes you have to sack objectives like this. A blue buff is not worth giving over early game kills for, especially if the enemy team has a global like GP ultimate. That's not going to be answered because Hauntzer hasn't switched over to teleport or anything. So they divide the map. Top side over to TSM, they trade the blues, they threaten Huni here even under his turret, make it a little bit more difficult for him to farm, but as he's seen both MikeYeoung and Bjergsen exit, he moves back in to try and pick up some of this gold. It's not quite out of the waters, deep waters yet though.
MikeYeoung revisiting the top lane. Hauntzer did clear out a pink ward in the Tribrush just next on the right-hand side of Huni, and looks like a dive might be brewing here.
Yeah, they delayed it. They did kill that ward, so Huni has no further warning here, and there is an ultimate available for MikeYeoung.
Double tilde for Huni, dunk there for MikeYeoung as the ulti goes out, tries to flag and drag away. Hauntzer still with the ulti ready to go, trying to pop it, flashes forward, takes him down and now pulls out to relative harm. Adrian flashes in past him, the Zoe's here as well as he's still chasing, but Dardoch also trying to cut him up. Adrian with a knockback, Hauntzer just trying to buy a little bit more time. Fenix takes the kill.
So double spellbook bottom lanes are all the rage. However, you sacrifice a lot. Look at the bottom side of the map now. Even though Echo Fox got a counter kill, Zven and Mithy are now fully free to push down this turret. They're getting a lot of damage on it, and Altec does have to wait for more support before he moves his up to protect it. You can see him waiting halfway through the lane right now as TSM get this tower dangerously low.
Yeah, and again, Zven can help speed up this process with his W. Another wave coming in, so it looks like they might commit to at least do a bit more damage, but we'll watch this dive again.
All right, so even though there is the double teleports from the bottom line that they have to worry about, so much damage comes down to Huni. It's very easy for them to finish this kill even after the hourglass completion. So Hauntzer flashes in to secure it. Woo! A bunch of people pop up, and Fenix and Adrian are both there. But since Adrian left, Altec had to back off, and that's why you can see this very gray turret for Echo Fox on that side.
Still alive though, so first turret gold on the table. As Zven moves back with a finished Iceborne Gauntlet. Gonna run back down to that bot side. Fenix again pressuring onto Bjergsen, but it's a dot on the way through after portal jumping. But again, that teleport play from Fenix coming through. How constantly these waves have been pushed up and that early QSS he bought. Fenix just has all the tools to get out of this lane, and Bjergsen, who wants to be moving with his team and getting kills with his ultimate, is kind of just stuck at his turret right now.
Yep, Bjergsen now though with the teleport advantage. And it is a little bit more difficult to track the summoner spell teleports when everyone's running spellbook, but you should be used to it by now with the 30% restoration. And they have a small window where he could actually get the first roam. And Malzahar ultimate, he's actually even almost level 11 here to get another level into it. Extremely impactful. They would probably want to use this very big and important spell to secure a first turret bonus gold. Right now, you can already see they've sent their jungler down here. MikeYeoung is trying to lend some support. Now, Bjergsen begins to roam on the map through the control ward. They definitely have this bonus gold in their sights.
TP for Huni though, but no GP ult just yet. Still bonus gold, gonna look to go over. No Dardoch wants to jump in first. MikeYeoung here on the counter. A great double knock up there for Mithy on the Glacial Fissure on Bjergsen. Secures on with the suppress. Stun lands after concussive blows as Dardoch splits into pieces. They need to try and get this kill a little bit more, but MikeYeoung, he's going to get drowsy, needs to block. GPO's a little off range, but Mithy there. Ignite down from Fenix as he jumps back in as Dardoch looks for the re-engage. Mithy does use the stopwatch to buy a bit more time, and he is going to go down to Altec. Dardoch on the other side with the stopwatch as Bjergsen goes drowsy. Oh, he got him! Kill Altec. Dardoch down as well. Will go down to Bjergsen as Adrian still being chased by Voidlings. A mess in the bot side, 2v2 overall.
Intense 4v4 on the bottom side. He's asleep.
Flashes Fenix. Again, the distance needed there for Zven. Fenix can't find the paddle star. Misses on the other side as Bjergsen rows back out. Hauntzer solo kills Huni under the turret. 3 for 4 in the extended play, and the turret somehow still standing.
Oh, what a nice action-packed game we have down here. Such a close trade in the bottom side as Fox try and go again here on Zven.
Fenix again. I think flashing forward. No, didn't use it, just portal jump through.
This Zoe, sometimes Zoe can play tricks on your eyes there.
Very hard to track Zoe flashes as Hauntzer actually gets solo first turret gold as a reward for his solo kill. But let's watch this one again, Kobe.
TSM did have a good idea here, trying to move down Bjergsen in time for this big play, but the target they select on the front side here, again, we mentioned how tanky Zach and Alistar are with their ultimate and their passives. So, Zach gets the revive with the passive, buys enough time for Fenix to roam down on that Zoe, and you can see him. He picks up the ignite, ignites for the first kill, then he has an extra flash to pick up, goes for the second one, but they don't give enough respect to the Malzahar damage over time here. It just transfers after the second kill. Perfect jump right there for him to pick up the kill onto Dardoch as well, since the passive was already blown. And since it was a 4v4 on bottom side that required everybody's attention and the ultimate from Huni, Hauntzer then goes for the dive, and now we're back at it.
Huni 1v3 right now. Orange is at the ready, gonna get silenced. Barrels there. Huni again just trying to get his way out of trouble.
Yeah, Fenix laying down some sleepy bubble cover fire as he is able to dissuade TSM from going a little bit too deep there. Definitely a close game though, and Echo Fox are trying to make a counterplay right back up the mid lane here. Ezreal ultimate is on the way to try and hit the minions. Does take out a little bit of the help with the range one.
3v4 for a pretty long time here, but minion wave will get cleared out. Turret low, but not dead as Zven finishes off the outer in bot. 2-0 up in turrets now for TSM, who is sitting at just about 2,500 gold ahead. So certainly the early game going a lot better and a lot faster than their game so far.
And there's a very big thing about winning the early game against a team like this. Well, Zach actually not going for that engagement, but it does revolve around Zach. So vision control against this team is huge because of the things we mentioned early on in Champ Select about Zoe pickoffs with Gangplank ultimates and long-range Zach engages. Having those deep wards, having the early tower control for TSM allows them to place more vision to kind of lower the amount of spots that a Dardoch does have to try and set up one of those initiations.
It's kind of interesting to see the change here for Dardoch, not really sitting around topside as much as we've seen. I mean, Huni, despite having his Trinity Force completed already, getting what gold he can, he is woefully behind Hauntzer in total gold. About 2,000 gold down or just about, as Hauntzer has been bullying Huni ever since that initial help from MikeYeoung. So again, wanted to look at these players and kind of see which strong top laner could get the early edge. With counterpick, it actually has been Hauntzer.
Yeah, Hauntzer here, still running the Ignite as well on Vladimir, so constantly threatening Huni, bullying him off the wave. And this works really well in tandem with the shoving bottom lane. TSM have had Zven and Mithy push bottom side in, they prep the top side wave, then they can collapse over to mid lane to play around Malzahar ultimate. This is, again, level 2 Malzahar ultimate for Bjergsen. He's got his flash ready. They're just looking for someone to pick off here.
Someone's going to sleep. It's Zven, but he's safe for now. Looks like he shifted over the wall.
Echo Fox have actually committed Altec to pushing out the bottom side as well. So TSM had a small window where they had a power play on mid of a 5v4. But because of the defensive play here from Fox and Fenix consistently getting chunks onto high quality members here from TSM, Zven, was forced out of that fight.
Yeah, he's actually going to go back to bot side and to the wave that Altec had pushed up. Hauntzer was applying counter pressure in the top lane, but he's forced to back up. With Echo Fox retaking control of the left side. Dardoch in mid, knocks up Bjergsen. Shield gets instantly suppressed as MikeYeoung here as well. They're going to try and knock him back up, but a great ult's going to get him out of safety. MikeYeoung forced to break that stopwatch. Worried about the Fenix counterplay there.
Yep, definitely have to keep track of the cooldowns on these. Let's see, Dardoch looks like he does have his passive back available up now again for another one of the team fights as well. So again, the front line will be quite durable for them if they are forced to actually commit to those. And TSM, once again, trying to push out sideways and then collapse once Altec is committed to shoving it back out. You can see the Tristana on the bottom side, trying to get the minions back up to the turret to allow EchoFox a little bit of breathing room. Dragon started here from Dardoch. Meanwhile, the Rift Herald is being taken on the top side, but Zven with a little bit of vision.
Not safe enough for Zven. He's actually 1v3
he could try an
effectively
ult
right now.
steal blind would be the only thing.
Does try it, but a little late. Dardoch with a smite able to secure the first Drake of the game. It's only a Cloud 18 minutes in. Teams certainly delaying their priority on that.
It's such an interesting trade, too, because TSM, there's only one outer turret that they really want to crack before they start to really close in through the jungle with the extra vision and close off a lot of the EchoFox options here. So they'll probably want to use this Rift Herald to actually crack down this last outer turret that EchoFox have standing. Meanwhile, the extra Cloud Drake move speed for EchoFox is going to help them in trying to get those waves under control and then rotate back over to the focus on mid lane that TSM are applying. Hauntzer here, still doing a good job, by the way, on Vladimir on the top side. And since, again, this is 8.1, he got to start the Spell Thieves. He's now fully upgraded it. And that helps out with the split pushing a lot for Vladimir because you can just spam out the Spooky Ghost, which not only will they find out if anyone is coming over to try and deal with your split push, but it's also going to delay them if they're trying to farm up any of that side of the jungle.
And Hauntzer actually finally swapping over. Ghost is now selected, so maybe TSM looking to get down and dirty in a teamfight situation with Hauntzer completing that Leandries as well.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest things why people were so happy with Spellbook on Vladimir. The Ignite plus Spell Thief start was such a strong early lane power, and then being able to switch over to the great teamfight presence of the double mobility spells that he used to take, just you kind of get the best of both worlds. Now we'll be able to see, though, if he can actually get into the middle of the team fight. They have a Jarvan and a Malzahar. They're going to try and force that fight.
Bjergsen also swapping over as well, so no global actually if it's TSM just at the moment, whereas Fox have Huni's ult, his TP, and Adrian's TP right now.
Remember as well, as people are thinking about Malzahar, Gangplank can eat oranges. Alistar can pop his ultimates. Zoe rushed a QSS. So a lot of the priority targets are going to be able to get out of a Malzahar ultimate. Meanwhile, Altec on Tristana is going to have to rely on his positioning to stay away from him. Here we go, though. Rift Herald is going to be able to take down that turret.
This is the play that TSM is setting up, but here's the counter coming through. Airborne knockup back there with the last bounce from Dardoch. Bjergsen low, but he just barely gets out of the way. Massive ult from Hauntzer. Finds so many with a Hemo play because he's now going to dive back in, and Fox forced to run away. Everyone's alive, but not for that much longer.
Oh, and even though EchoFox have the counter engagement onto Bjergsen and take the Malzahar out of the fight before he even gets the ult, still, the team fight presence of a Vladimir. Mid-game, he's got Proto Belt, Leandries, as well as the Frost Queen's claim already completed, and he just dishes out tremendous AoE, forcing EchoFox to retreat and concede their last outer turret. That being said, TSM's outer turrets are not that healthy. There are two that are very close to being knocked over. So if EchoFox can make a big play, there's a lot of that standing gold for them to take. Here you can see in mid lane, definitely low health there. And the possibility of that turnaround is definitely there. The problem is dealing with wherever Hauntzer is on the map.
Yeah, he's only getting stronger, unfortunately, for EchoFox as TSM climbed to almost 5,000 gold ahead after breaking that mid-turret. Zven stopping back up here towards the top lane, so he'll get those minions pushing back. Altec, though, to his credit, has finished those two major items in Static Shift and Infinity Edge. So Fox, we're kind of leaning a lot on their scaling advantage between the Trist and the Gangplank, and even though they're behind, they are still getting gold. TSM, again, I cannot stress this enough. You can't let this game go on for too long.
Yeah, and you're going to want to first start to worry when you see some sort of Executioner's Calling or healing reduction as well, because that is immediately going to help out with team fighting versus Hauntzer versus this Vladimir, and they're definitely going to need all they can take. Remember, Hauntzer still, it looks like his stopwatch was never used, so he still has the extra Zonias available, even though he hasn't had to go for that item, and he was able to build very heavily into damage here. So the one team fight where they're able to pull that big play off could very well mean there's not a lot of time that EchoFox are looking for.
Pretty safe for Huni to clear these out. More of our Mortys and Trinity Force, plus those Merc Treads mean he can hang out with at a distance and barrels. Hauntzer going to have to dive pretty deep to get real pressure down onto Huni. TSM setting up the Baron on the other side though again. Hauntzer just trying to keep Gangplank occupied for as long as possible.
Yeah, and Huni just trying to clear out waves.
Yep.
Thankfully for Huni, Gangplank is good at, clearing waves under turret. Hauntzer will be trying to get that well-timed auto, but it's difficult with Vladimir to try and kill barrels as they're ticking down. Meanwhile, a Mountain Drake actually does look very good for TSM as far as them having current control of the map with the 3 outer turret lead. If they set up the vision, burn down Mountain Drake, that then gives them a lot of extra pressure around the Baron you're talking about as far as the time that it takes them to burn it down with that extra true damage.
Hauntzer again, not too much vision here for him, but able to play up knowing that the rest of the team is pretty much on the left-hand side.
Meanwhile, while Huni is trying to clear out the waves down bottom and Hauntzer's trying to pressure him, from Echo Fox's point of view, Fenix actually had a pretty good early game where he was finding a lot of picks. He was sweeping Trouble Bubble as well as some decent damage onto Zven. And their big goal is still going to be look for the Zoe picks. They have Zac who can very quickly close a large gap as well as an instant Gangplank ultimate that could come down. So Echo Fox are still looking for that play. The problem is, again, using the sweepers, using the control wards to clear out vision enough to allow them to look for those bubble angles, to allow them to look for the elastic slingshot.
Fenix has gone very defensive as well. Second item, Banshee's Veil, actually joined Arthur Morello Nomicon, so we'll need a little bit more firepower, but not too much more, so he gets a lot of benefits just loaded into that kit, as TSM are going to take this Mountain Drake that we have foreseen. Should equalize the Drakes, and like you said, does play well to kind of the point this game is up to.
And it plays really well into the TSM strategy right now. Hauntzer, though, because he has switched to the Ghost and the Flash to really threaten the teamfight prowess, he doesn't have access to the teleport. And even though you can use Ghost to try and run across the map and join the team, again, we talked about how instant Echo Fox could collapse on a pick. And that would be their hope, is to try and get a pick off and get a kill before Hauntzer would be able to come ruin their party.
Yeah, not enough pressure either. TSM not able to defend those last few autos onto the mid turret, so they will lose it. Their first turret falling over to Echo Fox, who are finding their way back into this game. Again, we've had quite a slowdown of the mid game here for the last 5 to 10 minutes. TSM, they've set themselves up nicely and methodically. Hauntzer even now spending all of that gold and buying a Void stuff. But all these things, again, are pointing to the same thing. Where does that big game-breaking play happen? Because they've built a wonderful lead. But this isn't enough to win a game yet. They really need to force something big around an objective, and we always think of Baron.
Yeah, I don't think they have to be super worried, though. They're
not yet.
Yeah, they're skilled pretty well as far as Vladimir still has room to add an extra item, but as you're talking about, he's filling up pretty quickly. He's so fed already that he's got not much inventory space available, and again, he wants to use that stopwatch in a team fight fairly soon to actually try and open up that last inventory spot. So we'll have to see. Right now, he's currently, again, split pushing with the Ghost and Flash versus Huni, who does have the teleport in addition to his ultimate. So you consistently have to worry about that engagement. We'll see here, though, who's going to make the big call as TSM are closing the gap through the jungle.
Drowsy Mithy puts the Unbreakable up first. Ult misses. Dardoch, but silences onto Adrian, who's going to knock him back and force the ulti out. Unbreakable through, but now MikeYeoung has to force ulti's way out. A defensive ult from Bjergsen. Zven piling in as Adrian flashes out from the True Shot barrage, and a lot of cooldowns burnt. Zven even flashes out of that bubble.
Yeah, they're kind of forced to use a Malzahar ultimate on an Alistar that already has the damage reduction. Now,
Unstoppable Dardoch doesn't get himself popped. Passive was up, I believe. Yes, Cell Division available, but that does delay pressure around this Baron.
Yeah, that was a decent amount used here, and TSM having already cleared out a lot of the vision. Rush onto the Baron, teleport comes in.
Yep, there's Adrian, who's going to follow soon. Vision there from the plant. TSM need to make a big decision here. Do you pull off 2,000? The Baron? They're going to finish at Mithy. Going to try and block it all. Hauntzer going to go around as MikeYeoung goes to give it the Baron. Dardoch low from Bjergsen. Hauntzer though still backing onto Huni, who's forced to flash out of the way. They'll chase him down. Hauntzer will get the kill credit, and TSM a Baron and a kill. Very well played.
TSM able to get the Baron buff, and they're going to have full map control now. This is exactly what they needed to press ahead through the second line of turrets. See if now Hauntzer, having used both of his summoner spells to pick up that kill, though, on the Vladimir. Let's take another look. Teleport comes in. Echo Fox feeling rushed right now. And that's when Hauntzer ghost flashes into the back line, single-handedly occupies almost the entire team there. Bjergsen as well, flashing onto Dardoch to force him back out. And then it's the re-engagement from MikeYeoung, from TSM to pick up an extra kill on top of that Baron buff.
And surprising very few people, Kobe, you were right. Nothing to worry about for TSM as they do time that Baron very nicely. You kind of said for Echo Fox, one of the challenges will be in this game, how do they survive when the early game doesn't go their way? And it has not gone their way.
Not right now, because now here comes the siege from TSM. One outer turret down. MikeYeoung goes for a dive onto Fenix.
Dunkaroonie does go to sleep. Bubble back in, bit of damage there as MikeYeoung tanking a number of turret hits, but Warmog should tick back up relatively soon. Next, Alistar misses, airborne there for Hauntzer. Can't be stretched back with a Sanguine Pool. Nice little play as the siege continues. Zven finding Adrian. Adrian with the ulti ready though as Altec defends this wave.
Yeah, and Ezreal with the red buff there. Zven being fairly annoying, poking away at the minion wave, buying some time. TSM would really rather get more than one turret out of this Baron buff though and keep up the siege. So Hauntzer consistently pressuring down bottom side, and they're going to rotate everybody down here to finish off turret number 2. Let's see if Echo Fox go for it. Dardoch is in place.
Certainly is. Slingshot at the ready. Out of vision there. Nice little pocket he's found himself in. Mithy though roaming around looking for some wards. Got Unbreakable.
Yeah, they're looking for an isolated member, but not going to happen here. TSM are grouped up as 5. Altec, meanwhile, trying to rush over to their blue buff and
spotted.
Steal that one away before they collapse.
Does get it though. QSS also there, so despite Bjergsen having Ghost and ult ready with rank 3 ulti, pretty easy for Altec to get out. TSM though, just attacking the weak point of the map. No one is really there. A big wave had built up, so there the turrets we're looking for. 6 turrets to 1 now for TSM.
Now comes the real defense for Echo Fox. Can they hold an inhibitor turret? Dardoch in
there, looking to try and make the play. Bjergsen getting low, knocked back in there as Evo goes down. Able to get him, and Hauntzer and MikeYeoung straight to the back line. Adrian looking to run interference on the front line, but a massive hemo blink from Hauntzer. Cleans up Fenix, looking for another one, but goes down to Huni as he grabs the shutdown gold. Mithy forced to break away as Zven did pick up Adrian on the other side. A noble effort there for Fox, but probably not enough here.
Oh, they're still trying to take it. TSM eventually get in.
Ben shifts in, little dangerous. Altec firing away. Explosive charge, good. Dardoch looking for the slap. Finds him there with a slow. Oh. No protection. Oh my god, the buster shot. Not enough there as MikeYeoung took down Altec. Huni is going to fall next, but he takes down Mithy with his final breath. MikeYeoung and Zven though still up, and it's only Dardoch to defend this inhib.
It's a bloodbath on the top side, but TSM eventually going to get this turret. Next person alive is Adrian off of the fountain, but it's only Alistar, and TSM will be able to retreat in time.
2 seconds too many. TSM break the top inhib, almost 10,000 gold ahead. That is the gold standard for a Baron power. Players will watch this one again.
All right, so Echo Fox know they don't have time on their sides. Dardoch gets a great opening onto Bjergsen here, completely combos him. They take up the Malzahar, no ultimate blown very early on. However, again, this Vladimir late game absolutely annihilates the backline. Hauntzer goes in very deep. The problem there for TSM, the rest of them were at the turret, stuck kind of between the objective and the team fight that was taking place. So they weren't able to help them out, and that's why Echo Fox got one more chance. Here's a look at that chance though, Pastry, as they flash in, get the stun, knock here onto Zven, but MikeYeoung counter engages onto Altec and takes out the damage.
Clutch Unbreakable from Mithy. He does go down valiantly towards the end of it, but enough for TSM to collect that inhib. Mountain Drake number 2 will be coming right up, and that's a gold swing. Over 5,000 gold worth of Baron power.
We're 5,000 gold now, and we finally get a little breathing time to look back at how the story of this game went, and it was so interesting how it was set up again, Hauntzer versus Huni, and TSM actually are pressuring on that top side, trying to kill the Gangplank early, which is the most vulnerable state for the champion, you know, using the Ignite. But Hauntzer now, he's going to get a little taste of it.
Pretty vulnerable 1v4. Perdiment's out of the way! What a flash from Hauntzer, still ghosting to save his team. He's looking for it, gets it with the auto. No outplay there, Hauntzer.
Well, hard to outplay Zoe with summoner spells.
Yeah.
As Fenix is on the chase there and able to get him down. That will go a long way as far as buying themselves some time. But now we'll have an actual intermission because it's 40 seconds on Vladimir, the strongest member there for TSM. So they'll probably stall the game out. And we'll take a look at how this happened for Echo Fox.
Oh.
There's the bubble, the pick we talked all game about. The follow-up from the Zac and Alistar engage. And it's still was a difficult chase. But Fenix, he heals over to pick up the summoners. You can see him get the flash there off the ground and use that flash to finish off the kill. Whew.
More than enough Spikles to take down that Vampire. Hauntzer still dead for 10 more seconds. Baron back up in a minute 20. Remember, top inhib is massive minion pressure there for Echo Fox. So TSM in a prime position to retake another Baron and likely use that to push and end the game. Fox still holding on as they look to scale up and just push this game as far back as they can.
Yeah, they're definitely trying. Gangplank in full activation here. Huni, one more upgrade on the way. It looks like Hysterics will be completed pretty shortly. Should be able to farm up off of that last minion wave, and maybe they'll have it for their kind of last stand here as super minions dealt with for another 30 seconds or so, as it's going to take one extra wave from topside before the Baron comes up.
Hauntzer also getting waves going in the bot side, but he doesn't have TP, so he's going to have to time this. He starts to walk over Huni with his globals ready.
Yep.
So he can get involved if he wants to, but TSM know they need to grab this Baron.
All their prep work is being done. As you mentioned, they force Huni down bottom side. He has TP available though for Echo Fox, and now it's the vision game. They try and clear it as much as they can to force Echo Fox into a bad engagement where they don't get to take that opportunity to land the bubble combo and try and take out one of the key members. Echo Fox here trying to farm up and grab as much experience as they possibly can.
By the looks of things, Fox are just going to try and force a fight here at the objective. Vision is decent for them,
time.
but TSM with enough control.
Hauntzer looking for a flank with Vladimir on top.
There's GPL down, Dardoch looping in, finds MikeYeoung, only goes unstoppable, drags him back into the team. MikeYeoung trying to get his way out, ults and flashes out to safety as Adrian tying up Hauntzer for a little while longer. Fenix goes in, flashes out of the way. Puts mithy to sleep, but that's not enough. Hauntzer going to dive back in as Adrian headbutts him away. Dardoch goes to sleep. He's going to get the passive pop. Zven on the aggression there into Adrian, but Dardoch not long for this world. Hauntzer able to claim that kill. Adrian looking to just buy some time, but he's dead to Zven as TSM collect 2.
Yeah, that team fight consisted of 4 people around Baron trying to fight, and Adrian just trying to keep Hauntzer away from the team fight as long as he could. But after the after the Q is used from Alistar and Hauntzer finally got to enter the fight, TSM turn it around, they collapsed, and now they're running it up mid.
Yep, no need for Baron. Just going to try and take more inhibs and maybe even squeeze out some Nexus turrets. Nope, they exit instantly with 20 seconds left on the respawns and more than enough time to grab that Baron.
They should be able to secure it. Dardoch, yeah, still in the death chamber here for Echo Fox. Man, and TSM, they turned up the speed in this game as well as the coordination, which everyone was harping on about. And as we set up in the pregame, good little turn there, and they were able to play much more around the Vladimir this time around with a second Baron buff here for themselves, an exposed inhibitor on top side. The end game warpath looks very clear. Meanwhile, Echo Fox definitely gonna have their work cut out for them as far as picking somebody off. So if you see on the top right here, Adrian just goes to keep Hauntzer out as long as he can, but because again, MikeYeoung's able to delay this so long with his engagement and then exit on the full tank Jarvan, Hauntzer eventually gets to join, right? And he's got his ghost on, he's able to zoom in and they take down the Zac passive. At that point, there's nowhere left for Echo Fox to go except full retreat. And Adrian eventually also paying for it with his life.
Yep, couldn't stick around for too much longer as Huni gets away. Push here on the top side, no, cancelled. That was TP out. Tough to see that between that and a recall, but Huni with the right play. Still burns that TP, so not a whole lot left to do on the map. Again, Fox needs to delay for 2.5 minutes. TSM will hold the Baron for this next push.
Yeah, it's going to definitely be rough, but we'll probably see Echo Fox make one of those calls like we saw early on, where as soon as TSM showed up on the front doorstep and there was an opening, they take it, right? Because there's not going to be a lot of openings left. There's exposed inhibitors and you're dealing with a Baroned up squad. TSM looking to play safe, Echo Fox looking to push the tempo, try and catch someone off guard.
I mean, Altec's got the items. They can certainly get something started here. The TSM are going to take the inhibs. Zven again forward there with MikeYeoung and mithy to help block any shots. Fenix looking for the angle, but it's really tough with no terrain to land bubbles in the face of a team that's sieging you. TSM happy to play it slow.
Very happy. Another line of super minions coming down mid. Baron buff should speed up these lines, and a couple more autos left on that inhibitor.
Zven again stepping forward. Good block there. Asleep goes mithy. He's going to be okay. Barrels in there. MikeYeoung struck back by Dardoch, but inhibitor goes down thanks to the minions, and now the supers are here. TSM, where do they run? The Elder Dragon is up if they want it, but they might try and push this down. No, Dardoch going to make the decision for them. Dutch2 back into the team, but it's the tanky members. They're going to trap them in onto the massive Hemo play as he dashes forward into the back line of the team. A flank attempt on the other side for Fox. Doesn't land as mithy claims Adrian and Dardoch able to just get away, but mithy flashes forward, forcing Fenix's flash.
Big disengage right there as well. They come away with the kill, and again, Elder Dragon, as you said, should be picked up pretty easily. There's 2 mountains for TSM, so it is going to add a little bit of extra help here. Should only be Zven picking that one up, and then them returning back to the bottom side because they were able to take those top and mid inhibitors. 1 lane left. All right, let's take another look at the actual engagement. Because again, we said there's a timer here for Fox, so they're kind of looking for any opening. Dardoch sees Bjergsen again get the Malzahar, but he's able to flash out of the Zac ultimate. And then the engagement here from Hauntzer on Vladimir flashes in, this time only on the front line, so there's a little bit of hope for Adrian and EchoFox, but not enough. Even the Alistar ultimate isn't going to make him durable enough as TSM so far ahead, they just melt right through him.
Slight correction also. Zven did get flanked, it was just by the Wolf camp. That's who was pestering him as he shifted over the wall. So everyone's safe there for TSM, they get their pick, and now they see this final in here with the Elder Dragon. Baron, unfortunately for them, is just about to wear off, but the siege will continue despite the bevy of gold that TSM do have to spend here. Shouldn't deter them for too much longer. There's just so much pressure off waves alone. TSM should feel pretty safe, even if they make a mistake here. They'll be more than in this game. The
wave on top side actually looks to be a double sack super minion wave. So TSM, actually they're going in right now.
Yeah, MikeYeoung locking everyone in the cage here with the ultimate. Dardoch looking to go unstoppable, drags one back. It's Bjergsen, but he's just going to silence 3 people in the rest of it. Altec does manage to take him down. Hauntzer again, no! Dives out of the Zoe, actually. Bit of a misstep as MikeYeoung's going to try and take one back. They do get Altec. Zven and mithy trying to fight the rest of them as Fenix grabs a double.
The super minions on the Nexus turrets, they can't chase. What? They cannot chase out of the base. They need to go back and deal with the minions.
Yep, they do chase now. Massive wave as Fenix, Huni, and Dardoch all going to try and clear these out. But again, it's going to take a while. They leave Dardoch to clear it. That Nexus turret is going to go down.
Oh, EchoFox with the big defense, but TSM still trying to chip away at the turret, and with this extra damage, Zven takes it below half.
Yep, Zven actually just face tanking the turret there with mithy by his side, applying a bit more pressure. Ooh. Mid-inhib does respawn halfway there for top, and that's going to probably call off the play for TSM. A nice defense there for EchoFox.
Oh my goodness, EchoFox barely able to hold on here, and luckily for them, they're not going to have one of the big neutral objectives come again very soon. So they can continue to sit inside their base, clear out these super minion waves. But here's a look at the engagement. Dardoch, again, tries to start it off before the super minions did their work, and he actually got a very good engagement onto the backline this time. Gets Bjergsen in, even though Zven got out, he had to sit through the Gangplank ultimate the entire time. And the backline from EchoFox was able to do enough damage this time with only Altec going down that they do defend around this turret. There goes the Zac passive as Dardoch was able to get back up and go deal with those Nexus turrets. But EchoFox hang on, and they do continue to scale Pastry. Now they're almost all level 18 here, and we're getting on towards that late game.
Yeah, builds are filling up as well. Altec especially is done his 6 items, so kind of the carries in the right places here for Fox. Yes, Huni's build isn't super scaling, a lot of lethality here, no Infinity Edge, but again, can still get work done with the right engage. Breathing room, however, you got about a minute, Kirby, to say whatever you wanted to say, because that's when the next Baron is spawning.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, with Huni, if he continues to get gold, he can switch over to a crit-oriented build, but as of right now, he wants to keep the full effectiveness of this lethality. Because if you get a good barrel chain, you know, late game Gangplanks, doesn't matter how fed the AD carry is if they aren't building any defense. Like this is full offense, and it is an Ezreal very difficult to land one of those chains on. But again, Dardoch has actually been quite good with these spot engagements and forcing a lot of the cooldowns and defensive abilities of the backline. Now, EchoFox, they've got some hope. They've been able to fight themselves into an opening here. Now, though, one of those neutral objectives coming up to force them out of the map. TSM looking to use this Baron to bait.
TSM actually just trying to find a fight already. Dardoch gets himself out. Buffers the slingshot out, despite being silenced by the Malzahar. Also, was flanking from the right. He'll rejoin the team, and that inhibitor is back up soon in the top side. So Fox don't need to kill those minions for too much longer to be able to contest the Baron that's up in 3 seconds.
All right, Echo Fox having to walk through vision now to try and check, and they're getting into some dangerous territory as TSM attempting to poke over the wall.
Oh, sleep on a MikeYeoung. Fenix, though, just get a little bit of poke, but the wall mug should help him back up to full in no time at all. TSM, again, draining Fox's vision around this area.
All right, it's going to come down to the engagement here. Huni looking...
Hauntzer is not here. Actually, going to have to run back up. Gangplank ulti might start it off. MikeYeoung into the backline with a stone play, but Zven, he's going to go in. Bjergsen zoned out as Altec looks to get him. No! Oh my god, suppressed back as Altec will get the kill. But still a little far away from the rest of the fight. Hauntzer low though, trying to refill up, does do so very quickly. As Dardoch wasting the ulti as he looks for the re-engage. Fenix looking to poke down, but getting low. Stick shot misses though. That was just bizarre, but Bjergsen's down for 45 seconds.
Yeah, the Echo Fox assassination mission on Bjergsen complete once again. As they have continued to target him, they take down the Malzahar. They again buy themselves some more time. They're able to now clear out the waves and reset some of the vision as well. This one is turning right back to very much a danger zone, PastryTime.
Yeah.
As Baron buff is going to be a constant pressure point for both teams.
So just Rick Fox briefly in the audience. Very, I think, nervously watching this game unfold. We're almost 45 minutes through. Fox have held themselves in, and now they're going to make an aggressive play on the Baron. Bjergsen dead still for 10 seconds. No summon to spell up. Yeah, it's down to 7,000. MikeYeoung looking for a steal. Adrian dies to Hauntzer. Didn't pop the ulti button, does have it as Dardoch looks to re-engage back through. Asleep though is Zven. Chomps out. Altec jumps in and grabs the shutdown. Hauntzer still alive though, but Altec should have the damage to burn through it. Ultimate there from Gangplank going to tie Hauntzer down forever as Fenix grabs another kill. Fox.
Bjergsen is alive, but he's heading to the minion wave down bottom, so TSM have made the call to give this one up, or have MikeYeoung play a suicide mission here to try and steal it.
The rookie was known for heroics when he first joined the LCS. Altec though going to run interference. MikeYeoung going to try and get back in, but that flag's too far away.
He's going back!
The flag's going to look for a buster shot from Altec. Gives Fox the Baron.
Oh my goodness, they fought themselves back into it. Now they've turned the tables. Baron buff on Echo Fox, full range Tristana, late game Gangplank, Zoe getting the picks here, and this is a look at the 4v5. Adrian does get annihilated early, but again, that opens up Echo Fox to chase down Zven. You look at that bubble, it lands, they're able to crit him right out of the bubble as well, and instantly take down the TSM 80 carry without that extra damage threat. Everyone turns to Hauntzer, they take him down, and Echo Fox regaining control.
And as quickly as I said, he looked nervous. Rick Fox is fired back up. As Echo Fox have found new life here just as we approach the 45-minute mark. 0 damage for Adrian in the last team fight. Didn't need it. Bjergsen also adding a bit to that one. Of course, he was dead. And now Fox on the offensive, looking to really take some of these turrets back in. A 6-turret difference, but that will not last for long.
Echo Fox showing some cool and some late game poise. TSM going in onto Adrian.
Put in the Cataclysm, but Adrian pops the ulti, gonna try and buy a little bit more time. Stun back up by the Braum passive as Mithy lets it go. Glacial Future scores a field goal. He falls asleep. Unbreakable up, block it.
Oh, Hauntzer goes in.
Yeah, looking to make the aggressive play, draining Adrian of all those health. A big hemo back. Hauntzer takes down Adrian. Gets a lot of his life back as Fenix tries to find the poke.
TSM now with a power play, 5 versus 4. That's 50 seconds left on the Alistar. There is no large objective up, but they're running down mid lane to the exposed inhibitor, and they should be able to use this 5-on-4 to take down one of the inhibitors. This is still a very big advantage that you can get with just super minions adding that little bit of extra pressure. Barrel chain's still a very big threat though.
It's inhibitors too, Kobe. If something goes wrong, TSM might take both.
Oh.
Altec has to play carefully. One inhib's going to go down. That was almost a guarantee for TSM. Will they stay for more?
What a big play from Hauntzer to open this up. There's only now 17 seconds left on Adrian. And you got to think that Echo Fox is going to pull the trigger again as soon as that Alistar is up. They do have flashes on him.
Yeah, he'll be zooming down as well as TSM will try and take the second inhib. Hauntzer frontlining for a little bit. Altec is just letting Mithy have it. Unbreakable is up, but the inhib does stay up.
Yep, Adrian's alive, so they can't commit to this. And Echo Fox barely defend inhibitor number 2 on the top side.
All right, well, next bit of pressure coming in a minute 20. as Elder Dragon is up. Still a minute on
they're
the
sticking
Baron
around and actually
Fox.
pinging for the rush here from TSM.
All right, looks like the bait was taken there by Fox. They'll rush out, and they will not be able to defend this. Hauntzer, but the engage could cost them. Gangplank ulti as Dardoch dives into the tipping. It's interrupted by mithy. Stunned to the front line, knocked up by MikeYeoung, and overcommit perhaps as Dardoch is just going to live. The passive finally popped. Altec, no, takes down Hauntzer, and Fox going to try and turn it back around. mithy blocking what he can. Silences, they dive in, but Dardoch straight into the team. Looks for the abduction, doesn't find it, goes back in aggressive. MikeYeoung getting low on the other side as Fenix. Unstoppable takes down mithy. A trumpet from Altec. He barely lives from the crits. Fenix looking for blood, trying to find the runners from TSM.
What an incredible scramble here. MikeYeoung still has to run though. Fenix is on the chase.
Picking up again. Zven also completely caught behind.
That was so crucial for the reset. And the
oh no! Minion wave. Huni does what he can. Oh, he redirects the cannons. Huni saves the inhib. Less than 100 life, Kobe.
Oh my God! 3 inhibitors is saved there. Huni doesn't let the last one go down. Elder Dragon is on the table though, and TSM have control of the map. Scuttlecrab will give them extra vision as well as the speed boost, but Echo Fox have the numbers. mithy still 20 seconds in the death chamber means that Echo Fox should be able to get the extra burn damage despite losing most of the inhibs.
Just dead for a little too long. mithy still 10 seconds away, and that's Elder Dragon easily over to Echo Fox.
There's so many key plays to point out in this team fight that you can't even say them quick enough. A sleepy bubble landed onto Hauntzer there after the re-engage, and that allowed Echo Fox to turn the fight around as they bursted him down, even though it looked like TSM had gotten the early pick there and burn. What an incredible late game here, and now Echo Fox with late game, Infinity Edge now on Gangplank, Infinity Edge and fully ready Tristana with 6 offensive items, no boots, they've been sold, have plenty of threat. They've finally scaled up Pastry, and you get your late game dream.
Well, the gold that is now basically irrelevant as everyone fills up their inventories is very close as Fox have clawed all the way back into this game. They were 10,000 gold behind with TSM having a second Baron, and they have held on for the last 20 to 25 minutes. Still problems though, that last inhib is sticking out like a sore thumb.
Still problems. The inhibitors are the key advantage for TSM right now, trying to work with these super minions to try and whittle down the last one in bottom lane here. Now, Huni does such a good job of clearing out minions on this Gangplank, and we mentioned how great he does scale into the late game. Him as well, 6 offensive items, doesn't have any boots, is able to blow those things up, and you can see him in top side, waiting to use his teleport as well as the ultimate.
TSM though, looking for someone. They're gonna find Dardoch. They can get him, it's not bad, but actually Hauntzer's gonna get tied up, pulls out of the way, bubble not good. Dardoch now gonna take some damage, give it the GP ult, massive Hauntzer, forced to burn the status early, needs to get out, does barely escape with his life, but what can they do? No, Altec does take him down. Zven is on the other side, it's Fenix dominating, that's 3 dead on TSM. Fox still with everybody up as MikeYeoung is trying to escape from Fenix. Fenix looks for the angle, doesn't fire the bubble.
Bjergsen is actually going down bottom lane. Okay, he's going for the recall now. They have to try and defend, buy time for the rest of their members to revive. Oh! Hasn't fully completed the recall. Is he going to go for some high ninja moves to try and take out the inhibitor first?
2 recalls for TSM.
I mean, Fox are looking to end the game,
Only
right?
1 completed. MikeYeoung is sticking around. Bjergsen back, they're going to try and clear out these waves. Silence is back on.
He needs to cut off the minion wave so that they can't take off the armor from the turret.
All right, he's done it. Now he's got to get out. Adrian going to chase him down. That's a pretty swift Alistar with a Cloud Drake.
Oh,
Flag and drag not complete. Stun line up for the passive. Fenix looks for the bubble, doesn't grab it, but Altec should be more than enough. MikeYeoung, Flag and drags out. Warmox needs to work overtime if he can get out in time. A barrel convenient there for Huni to speed him up. There's the slip. Flag and drag miss. MikeYeoung goes down.
Oh, he doesn't get the EQ over the wall. I think the range was a little bit moved. Sometimes if you put the flag into a wall and it's over 50% through the wall, it will get nudged to the other side. However, you don't get afforded the same extension on your Q. Your Dragon Lance only extends a certain range, and if the flag was moved out of that range, then you don't complete the combo. So that's often what it is. It's not a misclick. But he does go down, but in any case, Mike bought enough time for the rest of the members to revive. Here's TSM trying to get back out on the map, and Fox burning down Baron.
Yeah, it's going to be a 4v5 around this Baron. They do not take it. MikeYeoung still dead for 30 more seconds. Baron's equalized, I believe, in this game as Fox take the fourth, tying it up at 2-2. And one inhibitors respawn. The top one should be back up soon. It's actually back up right now. Echo Fox have finally gotten this game to even.
Yeah, I mean, TSM, the options are actually becoming limited for them now because of the scaling you mentioned for Echo Fox, and they've been able to buy time for all their inhibitors now to finally respawn. So they have constantly been dealing with the extra pressure of supers pushing from TSM. Now TSM actually have to get a little bit creative because Echo Fox have been the ones with the good starts to these fights, and it's very easy for their damage to follow up on Dardoch's engagements. All right, here they come straight up through the front line. TSM actually recalling from the bottom. It looks like they're going to have their last stand defense at mid.
Yep, don't talk for too long because Echo Fox will start a team fight if you do. Action-packed has been the story of their games all weekend long.
These big ultimates and the passive attack that we talked about are so crucial for the frontline engagements of Echo Fox. In the late game, you can't compare items, defensive items, to these defensive abilities. And they've been able to utilize those to get those openings. TSM, though, clearing out the minions with very little health left off this inhibitor turret.
And again, not a whole lot of options for them to start a fight. Hauntzer with a flank could do it. MikeYeoung with an ult could as well. And maybe Mithy, but it's tough with Glacial Fissure and no other setup. Fox right now with a Baron buff for 2 more minutes, and Dardoch free reign to start fights as he leaps forward. Forces TSM back for a little while longer. Bubble up in siege mode. MikeYeoung dives in. Bit of a mistake. Goes airborne. Now it's stopped. He pops the stone plate in time. GPL down, doing a lot of good damage. Hauntzer is trying to find the angle on the hemo plate.
Dodge.
Keeps him out, but MikeYeoung low. Very, very low.
Ooh.
Too low.
Yeah, a bunch of frontline health and abilities traded there, as well as double summoners on Altec. These become extremely crucial as the next team fight could very well be the end of the game.
Well, Low is not dead, was Warmox ticks back over for MikeYeoung, so I would say a pretty positive trade actually for TSM, just based on what is important right now, this late into the game. But again, this game is somehow all tied back up. With a minute and 10 left on Baron buff. Fox might be able to force something on the siege, but my best guess is we're going to either next Elder or next Baron, because I don't think Fox can do too much with the minute they have left.
All right, well, they're going to try and make a liar out of you, Pastry, because they're headed up the mid lane, and Dardoch's got vision.
He's already prepped. Maybe one last Baron empowered. Siege here for Echo Fox again. Can take their time. TSM did a good job defending last time, let's see if they can keep that up. Dardoch into the team, looks for the backline. Big up Duck finds 2, but the carries aren't quite there. Hauntzer needs to get into the fight if he can, but he can't quite. Damage on the mid, he's trying to block what he can. Does get moved out of the way. Suppresso into the Dardoch with the passive. He's going to pop Hauntzer, gets damage down. Hemo playing is nice, gets his health back, but he gets killed by Altec before he can complete it. Dardoch, nobody gets out of the way as well. 4v5 for so long, Toby.
He got back up, and that's going to be 5v4 now as Echo Fox try and finish off the turret.
A liar indeed. Zven getting aggressive. Little 2 though as Bjergsen forced to burn the stasis. Altec ready and waiting. Bjergsen goes down to Huni. In hit falls. This could be it, Kobe.
Yep, they're trying to finish it up. 5 members of Echo Fox strong with the cannon minion up mid, but TSM fighting valiantly.
MikeYeoung dives back in, just trying to buy the time. Stone plate pop. Zven and Mithy doing what damage they can, but it's so tricky with Justin Ezreal. One more fall. TSM's death times are so long. It's a European duo. Try and save the game for TSM, but Zven, he's going to go down Huni with one more bullet, gets the crit and takes them down.
And that will be Echo Fox alone in the TSM base to finish it.
They had a minute left, and in 55.5 minutes, they will claim it. Undefeated, but barely so. They sweep another weekend and take down TSM.
What an opening game we have today, Pastry.
And it's so funny to think how differently these teams played based on the early signs we had seen in the season. TSM playing faster, trying to push the game while looking much more coordinated. And Echo Fox not off to the same early game lead, not able to snowball through top lane. Huni got pretty much destroyed for the first 30 minutes of that game thanks to Hauntzer and MikeYeoung. And still, what coordination and composure for this young team, relatively speaking, as far as how long they've been playing together, to take a win versus TSM.
And that's a key phrase, Pastry. The composure and the poise from Echo Fox in the late game, where people are going to question them most when the pressure is on. They were able to hold strong and delay it long enough. Meanwhile, TSM, big plays in the early game. Very well played early on, getting their top lane snowballing, using that Vladimir as far as the team fighting, and getting so much done, but not quite enough as EchoFox stand strong and take the victory, remaining undefeated now 4-0 in the North American LCS.
And they could, of course, retain sole possession of that, depending on how the 100 Thieves game earlier today does go. But I just can't stop throwing credit at this team. And I think Dardoch does deserve so much here. I mean, if you think about Dardoch when he entered the league, playing the likes of Udyr, playing these big carry champions like Rengar, would you ever expect him on a team like this to be playing Zac and just being such a good tank player of all things?
I think the turning point for me was when I saw the video where Dardoch was talking about Huni and the effect that Huni had on him. When Huni came in, he was like, you're doing this wrong, you need to fix this. And Dardoch was like, what am I going to say? He was on SKT. It's Huni. He's clearly...
I guess I listened to him. And Huni, to his credit, again, also just clawed his way back into this game. I mean, still a ton of lethality. Got put behind, but apparently didn't matter enough. To hear more about that very intense game, let's send it over to Vladimir and the EchoFox support.